My name is Natalie Bontomasi, and I am the daughter of poet Ralph J. Mills Jr. And I'm reading 3 of his poems. Moon's flying at first dark, its middle chipped out. Beneath this uprising ailanthus, blades of lily tuft clash in the wind. Impatiens blown, red as coals, now leaves, aerial leaflets, the wings of unknown bodies take flight. A slow kind of breeze, parting leaf from leaf, this deliberation letting yarrows soar, formally like flat-topped milky clouds, while the air mists silvered gray, and a window blinks distantly, opalescent as though someone you remembered you there, and who maybe waved. Air clings, moist as peeled fruit from the afternoon heat. I am watchful, dreaming. A wind ripples ivy outside the window, spears of grass thrust, flame-tipped, even as the light goes. Almost full, the moon coats roofs a tarnished silver, sharpens leaves until they gleam. River of the plains, your wrist of moon-swept brown water curves into thought, distant and thin. In this hour, I wish for nothing but to be filled with what I can see and to walk to the half-open door in the air ahead.
There's something really kind of delicate and dreamy about these poems, and so many. I think I was talking to Jonathan about this one day. So many sort of modern poems are ironic. This poet sort of standing back, sort of being critical of a scene, but yet in these poems the speaker is sort of in nature. So I just really appreciate these. Did nature play a part in almost all of your dad's work? Or?
Yeah, and more and more. Some earlier poems had dreams in them, and there's death comes up a lot, but it usually comes up through nature, or the dream poems. But they pretty much went away, and the later poems are pretty much all have elements of nature in them, and they're very stripped.
And was the city a big part of his work as well?
The city never, as a separate subject, I don't think. It's really intermingled, the nature. I mean, if you just notice which plants come up and which birds, I mean, they're in Chicago. I know they were in my backyard or they were outside my door, but it's just altogether, I think just the experience of being outside and observing. He was a quiet person, a gentle person, but I think he definitely taught us a lot by example, and we took walks with him a lot and in the park, and he, being a professor, he had a nice schedule. He was, could be home early with us. So I think definitely I appreciate nature, and I am kind of quiet too, and I'm an observer, I think. Yeah. There are a few poems. There's one poem that was written for me about making snow angels. So that's the one poem I can think of where, that I influenced, but I mean, we had the experience together and then he wrote about it. But as far as his creative process went, he was pretty private about it, not in a secretive way, but just he had a really nice study on the third floor that was very open to us. We could go, see him all the time, but he, just be quietly working there with his notebook, and he didn't, he wouldn't like come to the dinner table and read a poem or anything like that. He was modest and unassuming and just working, but he cared a lot about it. He was really passionate about it, but in a very like quiet, intense way.